And I'd like to start by acknowledging we're on the homeland of the many diverse First Nations and Métis people who have ancestors have walked the land since time immemorial. We are grateful to live, work, and learn on the traditional territory of Treaty 8. And going to our agenda, I think everybody's got a couple of additions. One of them's not an addition, it's just an update to 8.2. And then we have what will be 9.2 is the GPOT write-offs under Finance 9.2. Is there any other changes?
Is that pool?
It should be pool, not poll,
Oh,
yes.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, can I get a motion on this then? Okay, James is making the accounting.
As amended.
All in favor? It is carried. And no scheduled delegation. Do we have any public delegations? No. Okay. We'll move on then, right to our fire chief's report. Can I get a motion to get the ball rolling here? John? Councilor.
The council received fire chief's November 2024 report information.
Thank you very much, and I'll turn it over to our chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I assume you all have my December report in front of you, just a couple of highlights. I talked about our Slave Lake, I think fire or hockey tournament, but just kind of want to reiterate that it was a great team building event for all firefighters just to gather and have some fun. By all accounts, all of our members and also Slave Lake's members and also first responders in Slave Lake had a good time, so it was a good thing. We had 2 people complete a critical incident stress refresher course in Blair, and I can't remember which counselor was mentioning something about accessing grants for mental health and wellness. That was a regional application, and we all benefit from the regional application where we had both county people and also town people that attended this refresher course. And basically what it is, it's a peer support network that reaches out to members that are having difficulties to try and support them through their difficulties. So it's a worthwhile program, a worthwhile course. Last night, actually while I was in council, we had a STARS representative come down and spend some time with my folks and go through basically details of STARS, the landing procedures, how to dispatch, all kinds of stuff. So when I went over there and had a chat with them, they were very, very pleased with the presentation and appreciated that the person was able to come down. They haven't been down here since prior to COVID, so they're wanting it, and we made it happen in cooperation again between the county and us. We kind of shared a west and east. Last week they were out east doing Canuso and that part of the world, and then this week they came to us along with the I presented my fire budget to the committee on November 27th, and for all intents and purposes, the operational budget was supported with the exception of the one item that I brought forward, and that is to move the fire chief position from a part-time position to a full-time position. I'm sure you guys will have questions on that later on, but I will just keep on going and I'll get back to that topic. As far as a couple of activities that have been going on, I've had a few, I guess, inspections that are a little bit concerning. As the one note there, you can see that there's an apartment building in town here that didn't have any heat. In conjunction with AHS, we provided support for the people in the building to basically make sure that they had some kind of heat. We've also had a couple of outdoor fires being started by the homeless people. As far as a solution to that, I'm not sure, but trying to stay on top of it, see sort of the trends. But they are using cardboard from the recycle to use as fuel. We are looking at hosting, actually, we are hosting a group from Pearl River Junior High. We're going to kind of introduce the concept of the Junior Firefighter Program, and along that same topic, our society membership has supported the idea of creating a scholarship fund. The details of it are yet to be hammered out, but we are looking at rolling it out in July of 2025, and we're going to use it kind of as a stepping stone to encourage youth to get involved with the fire department. And I think I've mentioned it before, but there has been studies that basically say try and get the junior high people involved. High school, they go through their high school years, and they potentially might come back as a full-time member once they reach finish high school and reach 18 years of age. So we're looking at trying to encourage recruitment in that manner. We're going to see how that works. And I think that's it. But the last item there, I am now informing council that I'm stepping down as fire chief. My goal was 5 years when I took the position, and I have no regrets. And I appreciate the support the council has given me in my time. So I have intentions of staying on at the fire department and supporting the fire department, just not in the chief position. And I guess that is my conversation with you as council, to try and convince you that the fire chief position has moved gradually from Bill Eckel being a volunteer to Ken Melnick being part-time. I accepted the part-time, understanding the challenges that go along with it, and soon realized that it is no longer a position that can be filled by a part-time position. If you don't realize that and you say we're going to try and fill it as a part-time position, I'll guarantee you you're going to set that person up for failure. The time has come where this position needs to be full-time. I am not requesting it on my behalf. I'm requesting it on the success and the continuation of the High Prairie Fire Department. I've got a long written thing that has not been presented to you, but I guess basically what I'm doing is I presented to the budget committee and gave them all kinds of information, but I'm sure you have questions, and I am open to questions at this point.
All right, Councilor Winkle.
No, but, okay. A couple things. Is there anybody on the department that could do it right now?
There is in conversation with them, is my deputy chief, but he has a full-time position, a business, and I don't know if he's reluctant to give that up again. Because it's a part-time position, it has not been confirmed as a full-time position, it is all up in the air. So until that transpires and at what wage band that person starts at, and my presentation to the budget committee, it's all up in the air. I did do a little bit of research and comparable towns of our size. The salary grid ranges from 48.7 to 95.3, and I am suggesting that this person starts as a full-time at 68. which is on the same wage band as CPO, so Alan Bloom. So that's how Bill worked it out. And I'm just mimicking what he suggested, but again, whether or not you get a person applying at 68, I don't know. Again, it's an unknown. That would, I guess, be a starting point is my suggestion. When I did present the budget to the committee, I have and I talked about the increase in the Alberta wildfire income. Considering how I basically worked the budget, you guys can consider the full-time position with a zero increase in the fire department budget. Moving some things around, taking advantage of the income that has been realized with Alberta wildfire will, in my estimation of how I've worked things, account for the fire chief position and also add an extra $10,000 into restricted reserve. And again, I don't know if I talked about it yesterday, but in my view, the restricted reserve needs to be increased from 50,000, if not more, to 60, if not more, because in 20 to 25 years, every one of the fire trucks that are sitting in that hall are going to be over $1 million. And if councils don't see, the forward-looking, then we're going to get caught in debentures and all kinds of money that's going to have to be borrowed to take care of that issue. So,
Just one more thing. Now I know you're just part-time, but how many hours a week are you doing fire chief stuff? Like not just paid stuff, but total, how much are you? This isn't a 9 to 5 job.
so let me put it to this way: for the month of December, I will have my regular unpaid for 116 hours in the month. I will have an additional 45 hours on top of that. And that's average. And that's kind of a combination between meetings and calls and well, actually not calls, but so all of the calls that I attend outside of regular hours, working hours, are on top of that, and I amass over 250 hours of calls as well.
Okay, well, thank you for the time that you did put in as chief, the time and the fact that you're staying is awesome. Thank you. That will make the transition easier, and we'll obviously have to crunch some numbers in the budget.
Yep. But as I said, crunching numbers in the budget, and I mean, the new CEO can go over it, but I did show it to the two council members, and the way that my numbers worked out is the full-time position at a salary grid, and it is, I guess, or can be adjusted depending on the person, but at a 68,000 salary is workable without having any increase in the fire department budget. So it's a good thing. Maybe it's the right time for this.
Councillor Stenhouse.
So my question is on your inspections. So how many businesses do you inspect in a month, and how many are they all compliant?
I try and make it a goal of 2 a month. Sometimes I manage to do more, sometimes I'm forced to do more because I will get phone calls. So this past month, I've actually had two calls, which forced me to go out and do something. So, and actually in November, I went and I did 4 schools which I'm just trying with the budget and everything else, I just actually got the report sent out today kind of thing. So it's dependent, but again, my goal is to try and get two. And the focus is on high occupancy locations, so halls, apartment buildings, that kind of thing is where there's high occupancy and whether or not they are being compliant in the expectation of the buildings.
So when you give them recommendations or inform them of what they should be doing, are they all compliant, or do you find that you have to keep going back?
With the support of council, there is an incentive for them to eventually see the light. And for most part, I have had very good success in getting people to work with me. Again, I don't go in usually with a heavy hand unless I have to. And for example, this one where the AHS was involved, we went in with a heavy hand because we had to, because there were people living without heat and they were doing things very unsafe. So if it is a life safety thing, you are going to be a lot more stringent in the application of the code. If it's minor things, doors being propped open, that kind of stuff, I'm going to work with them and encourage them to see the light and the reason, and I explain them why this is and what effects it will have if they don't, kind of thing. So success rate, I will say I have been reasonably successful, actually very well successful in convincing people to see the light.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Oh, Councillor Ganaka.
So, thank you, Trevor, for your commitment for over, what are you at? 35 years?
30 and a half years.
30 and a half years in the fire department. My question is, are you firm on the January 2025? Because if we don't have a person in place to take your position, are you willing to stay on for a certain amount of time until that position is full, or are you firmly committed saying, no, it's January, but
So my plan is, and I've kind of, maybe I haven't articulated it, but my plan is end of January with the caveat that I'm not going to let the fire department crater. I will not do that. I've spent too many years. But on the same token, I need to see that there is progression and attempts to fill position. So that's basically, long and short. No, I'm not going to say it's a hard line in January, but on the same token, I need to definitely see movement and whatnot. On the same token, Heather and I have plans of being in Phoenix February, so for a little bit. So I will be here to support and keep the organizational function, let me put it that way. And I cannot step away 100%. I need to keep myself busy, but it's just, I don't want the responsibility of being the fire chief anymore. I went from being teacher that I thought was responsible, and then I thought, oh, it'll be easier as a fire chief, and I realized that it's way more responsibility than that, so.
Councillor Dunn.
I'm just wanting to determine what you feel. How realistic is it that we're gonna find a full-time fire chief for $68,000?
I've had comments that have said, good luck. But again, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So all that can happen is the job can be posted and see if there's action, and if there's no action, then that's going to be an obvious indication that things need to be reconsidered.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for that. And, I mean, I think that David will have to come up with some plans here very quickly on how we're going to do that. And get it started, because that's coming up very quickly.
Yep, like I said, I will support and I will do what needs to get done, but on the same token, I need to see movement.
If I could talk to you tomorrow.
You bet.
Morning, come into my office.
Yep.
And sort it out.
Yeah, and thanks for all you've done over the 35 years and, or 30, it's 32, I'm sure it's 32.
30 and a half.
Yeah. And yes, we will get working on that, because one way or another, we need to get that nailed down and know what we're doing and get started on it.
This isn't your last report, we'll see you in January.
You will see me in January, yes.
One last
Councilor
question.
Danac.
How did your soiree go?
Oh, awesome. Absolutely fantastic. And actually, I kind of missed on that. So our organization, actually in the capital plan, has the replacement of our hydraulic tools in 2026. The membership has decided to begin fundraising so that the taxpayers are not going to be burdened with that expense. And we are using, and actually we advertised for this event that we held, that we are using the monies fundraised that will be going to directly the purchase of these pieces of equipment. The goal is $150,000. I can't say 100% sure, but just quick numbers, we managed to fundraise $20,000 the other night with the support of the community. So we are well on our way to achieving the goal.
I did hear some feedback, and they said your Christmas party was wonderful. Really, really good.
Thank you.
That's the jaws and the cutters and stuff? That's-
Yeah. So new technology has come out, I'm gonna hazard a guess, about 5-6 years ago. And everybody was kind of jumping on the board because it's the new thing on the block. And we as an organization decided we're gonna pause and just wait and see the developments. So what it is the hydraulic tools that are no longer connected to a pump and hoses. It has basically battery operated. So there's huge advantages of that system. And our system, although you can say, well, the hydraulic rams and whatnot don't really age out, they do age out where you can no longer get parts for them. As you listened to Mike last night for his paint sprayer, you can only get parts for so long. And at that point, then your tools become obsolete. Some of the stuff we have that's aging out, some is on the newer end, but the decision has to be made at some point in time. When do you try and keep the old stuff going, or do you go into the new stuff and you do it gradually, or you just say everything out and in with the new? And our membership has decided that it is best to go out with the old and in with the new in one whole sweep. So that is why we're moving down that path. The efficiency of the tools, the ability of the tools, all kinds of things have advanced since the tools that we didn't purchase. It was the Elks, James, if you can help me, I believe it was Elks that pretty much funded the Jaws of Life at that point in time. So it's been a few years that they've supported that. That's where we're at.
The new tools, the new tech, do they operate basically on the same principle, or have the guys had a chance to use these in training situations, like with other departments that have them right now? Or?
So we we've kind of off and on got our hands on them, but I actually have a demo set up for spring of 2025 with the Hamatro rep. Gonna come out here, we're going to have a look and see what options we're essentially gonna go with. There are other companies out there, but the Hamatro is the one to go to. I have used others and they are far superior than the other ones. And I guess I'm spoiled because they work and they work well. And they have service, so they're supported.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. See you in January.
You bet. Merry Christmas and have a good holidays.
Thank you. All right, we had the motion to receive his report for information. All in favor? Carried. We'll go through the minutes. Special meeting at November 24th. Can I get a motion on this one? Councilor Waco.
Just move that we accept as presented.
Councilor Stenhouse.
I will compromise.
Oh,
I
I know, I always go there. That's usually the first. Sorry. Yeah.
That's what happens when you retire.
That's right, yeah.
Correct. I believe my name is spelled correctly, and Councillor on both of our names must be, I think that's just the way the, didn't go to the next line. In the very beginning.
Yeah, the counselor should be on the left
Yeah.
versus off to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, and the spelling? You got those two corrections? All right. Anything else?
As amended.
As amended. All in favor? Carried. November 26th. Go ahead, Councilor Dunn.
The council approved the minutes from the November 26th, 2024 regular meeting council as presented.
All right, any errors or omissions? All in favor? It's carried. November 27th. Get a motion on this one. Councilor Shishin.
The council approved the minutes for the November 27th, 2024 special meeting of council as presented.
Okay, any errors or omissions in these? All in favor? Carried. And December 3rd, the last one. Get a motion on this one. Councilor Dunn.
The council approved the minutes from the December 3rd, 2024 meeting and special meeting of council as presented.
Okay, anything with these minutes? All in favor? Carried. And moving on, any business arising from the minutes? All right, I'm going to suggest that we move 8.2 and before 8.1 because I know we've got our rec manager waiting and she's got an in-service to get to at the pool today. Is everybody all right with that? Just changing 8.1 and 8.2? All right, so maybe we can, we'll start with the 1 month pool pass, and there has been an update to what was in your package that's been handed out at the, and so maybe I'll can ask you to come up and maybe talk about the changes. Because I know we haven't had much chance to review them, so you can maybe just go over what you got there.
Hello. So this item has been brought forward in front of the JRC. As well.
Can I get,
Oh, sorry. budget committee, and they brought it back to council based on the direction provided at the November 18th joint recreation meeting. The JRC directs administration to implement a 1-month pass. So currently we don't have one, and there's been a lot of requests from the public to bring one in. So the current available passes are a 10 punch pass, 3 months, 6 month, and an annual. 1 month, I tried to make it more expensive than a 3 months, so that way we can kind of direct people to get a 3 month pass. So what we're looking at is for preschool 2 to 5 years is $59. Students 6 to 17 years, $69. Adults 18 plus, $89. Seniors 55 plus, $69. And a family of 2 adults and up to 4 children, $269. By doing this, it does reduce the amounts collected by daily attendance, less exchange of money, and it's more, overall more security and safety for our staff when they have to handle less money. This is a trial basis to make sure that we're utilizing it properly. And the hopes is by allowing the 1 month and having people enter and use the pass to direct them to go to a 3 month, 6 month annual pass. So that is the goal. Get someone in who doesn't have to have fully committed, but still has the option to get a pass. So you do save a little bit, but not much. I've also attached the 2025 pool rates that will be going forward. That will show the 1 month pass included in it. So that will be new advertising that will be put out there. Cost, source of funding. It would reduce the amounts collected by daily attendance, but overall revenue should remain fairly unchanged, as those utilizing the pool on a regular basis are already realizing savings. So anyone with a 10 punch pass already realizes that they're saving money from just regular attendance, and hoping this little push to a 1 month will keep increasing. Most other facilities that I've looked into in communities do offer a 1 month, so it's not out of the ordinary. And I've kind of did some comparables with how they decided on their prices and went with that to make sure we're still making revenue off this. I think it's a safe little change, but will be an added bonus for people who are asking for it.
All right, thank you. And you know what, I was negligent there and didn't call for a motion before we started the discussion. So now that we've got an idea of this, can I get a motion and then we can continue with the discussion? Councilor Wade.
I'll move that council approve the pricing for a 1 month pool pass, including GST, and direct staff to make the necessary changes in the fee bylaw and to advertise these changes prior to implementation.
All right, thank you. So I'll open it up for any questions then. Councilor Stenhouse?
So how much is a 3 month pass?
3 month pass would be just a student, for example, one
No, but let's do an adult.
adult,
Yeah,
You got it on your
166.
sheet, Councilor Stenhouse? like
where's the
last
3
week?
month?
It's at the
Oh. It's last minute, so.
And there's been no adjustments in any of the prices except for the 1 month membership. All other prices are what have been previously adopted by council.
I just have a question, because I'm noticing in the, when you're looking at the annual membership, the 6-month membership doubled for everyone except for seniors is more than the annual membership. Can I ask why seniors, theirs is, the annual membership is more than paying 2 6-month memberships?
These are prices that
That
were
were set.
set by council in a fee bylaw, so I cannot change that without going over the whole process.
I guess it's the same for students as well.
And the incentive is to try to persuade them to buy an annual membership. So,
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's cheaper to buy 2 6-month memberships for both students and seniors than it is to buy an annual membership. So that will contribute to incentives.
sorry. I
What?
didn't see that.
Your math is bad, John.
320, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on this? We have the motion to approve the 1-month membership. All in favor? Opposed? It is carried. All right, thank you for coming in and sharing that.
There is one more.
Oh,
8.3.
right, yeah, we might as well do the next one too, I knew that. So we'll go to the Arena General Pass submissions, 8.3. Can I get a motion on this one? I'll make the motion that council approve the addition of the following pricing options for the arena. Basically, that you have an annual membership, a 3-month membership, a 1-month membership, and a 10-month pass, and direct staff to make the necessary changes to the fees bylaw to council for approval and advertise these changes prior to implementation. So, that's, and then I'll turn it over to you, you can quickly go over it again, just in a nutshell.
So currently there is no membership option at the arena. Up until recently, you could only purchase memberships or punch passes or daily passes through the aquatic center or the town office. So we've now implemented it. We brought in a point of sale system into the arena that allows e-transfers and debit and credit. We've had a lot of members who do use this quite a bit, wonder why the pool gets membership access and deals, yet the arena doesn't. So I think it's only fair if you offer it at one facility that we should be offering it at all facilities. So it currently costs $5 for a drop-in fee, and that is set by council, so that's already been preset in 2022. And the punch pass 10+1 is $50. So because this season is not a full year, it's only September to March. I've worked out some math, it came up to a price of $245 for the full season. A 3-month being $115, a 1-month being $55, and a 10+1 punch pass being $50. By allowing membership purchases, it gives community more options to purchase it right off the bat without having to send their child with a debit card every day or forgetting their debit card and try to get in for free. This just takes the money up front, and if they use it, that's wonderful. If not, we still have their money from the membership. Fees aren't as high because it is not available every day. It's not like the pool, they have it open 7 days a week. This one is only open during public skating and shindy, which varies depending on what is booked in at the arenas.
All right, thank you. Any questions on this one? I don't see any questions. All right, so we have a motion to approve the fees as listed. All in favor? Carried. And I think that's it now. You can get to your in-service? Yeah, thanks. All right, and we'll go back to agenda item 8.1, the waste and recycling contracts. Can I get a motion on this one?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Council award the residential waste contract to Green for Life at a rate of $9.48 per residence per month, with no environmental surcharge, and a 5% increase each year on the anniversary of the start date.
where's the option?
That was the coach.
Oh, okay, I'm just looking down one and there it says, with the option of an extension for year 6.
Oh, yeah, with the option of the extension of year 6. Sorry, I was looking at the top there.
At the option.
Yeah, so we'll start with that one.
Okay.
Then we'll fight about the second.
Yes, let's start with that one, and perhaps we can get the finance manager to tell us about this one.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So in October of this year, administration sent out a request for proposal through Alberta Purchasing Connect for the residential waste contract and recycling contract. As the current one is set to run out the end of this year, December 31st. The current contract for residential waste with GFL is at a rate of $6.96 per resident, plus a 25% environmental surcharge. And then for recycling, the current rate is $132.91 per bin that we have. We have 13 bins over behind Subway across from the glass shop there. So we only received one submission, and it was from Green for Life. And as you can see below, these are the rates that they have submitted for the new contract. Residential waste, it works out to a 9% increase from the current rate for 2025, but then it works out to a 5% increase for each year after. Recycling, on the other hand, was quite a large increase. They are not doing the $132.91 per bin anymore. They have now moved to a price per residence per month.
And so with our residents and the new rate, what's the increase?
It is quite a large increase. It works out to about 151%. So we're currently paying $2,159.79 for the 13 bins. For 2025, the cost will be $5,414. And it will be still for the same 13 bins that are there. So what we've been told is that they now have to pay to drop their recycling off at another company. Whereas that wasn't done like that before.
They used to get paid for the
They
recycling.
used to get paid for the recycling. Now they're having to pay to bring the recycling.
It's a tipping fee.
It's a tipping.
It's all going to the dump. That's what's happening.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we got the motion on the floor for the residential, and I think that they can take the recycling bins away as far as I'm concerned.
Well, let's start with the residential. We'll focus on that one first. It was the only bid that came in.
So where did we advertise for this?
So we put the request for proposal on the Alberta Purchasing Connect. It's a website where everybody has access to. They can then download the documents and put in the submission.
So, I'm just wondering if our other local companies actually know about this and if they went there.
So I did have a look at, there's a list, it's called an interest list, and I did see some local companies did view it.
Interesting.
Counselor Daneka?
So just in the residential rates, so the contract for 2025, the 8655.25, that's just for them to pick up the garbage.
That's correct, yeah.
And then the town covers the disposal.
Yes, then there's still the fees at the landfill to take the waste out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought this company had, the last time they had done a presentation and said that they have their own recycling facility, and he said if we're up in Edmonton, he would give us a tour. So they don't have that anymore, that they're now taking their garbage to somebody else for recycling? I'm kind of confused, because I really didn't see anything in there.
Yeah, that's a question that we can definitely get some clarification on. He did tell Mike that he could come and do a presentation to council on the recycling portion of it.
So just out of curiosity, about the 8655, what is the cost of disposal to the town to add to that roundup cost for a year?
So it's anywhere between around $2,100 to about $3,000. It's all dependent on the weight.
Wait, right, okay. All right.
That's per month.
Per month.
Okay, so just regarding the garbage pickup, we know we want to have the garbage picked up after Christmas. And we're getting fairly tight. We only had the one bid. Anything else on that? Go ahead, Councilor Ishish.
So back to the local companies.
Yeah, I know, that bothers me too.
Yeah, like, so I would really like to know why they wouldn't be interested. Or they feel they can't compete or what. I mean, I'm just talking about the garbage pickup. Don't get me started on the recycle, because I don't think we need any of the bins. Honestly, the expense is huge and it's being dumped in the regular garbage. So I just can't, I can't even start to deal with that one. I really think we need to explore other options. And I know it needs to be picked up. When does it expire?
In December.
Oh, it's
3
end of
weeks.
December. So that's a little late, I guess, right? So then we're gonna lock ourselves into year 5, and then we're paying all this amount, and we're not happy with what's going on.
Well, maybe somewhere in the contract is a cancellation thing, I didn't see that.
Can we take a yearly contract or they want it locked in?
We had a local company at one point that was picking up the garbages there, but he passed it up because the tipping fees were getting to be too much.
Well, I'm just thinking that's a good possibility with that.
That's exactly what it
You
was.
know, it's just,
He
and I'm
didn't
just-
want to do it anymore.
Well, yeah, but it was too,
that one in particular.
yeah, that kind of too.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's
I'm just highly frustrated.
there's other companies who have started up, and that's why when we do something like this, why are we not advertising locally on our website, in the local paper, or on our Facebook page? Why are we going to these government websites?
Shanda, what was the length of time, like when did it start on that Alberta website and when did it end and what was the deadline for submission?
So it was put out a little later in October. I don't remember the exact date.
October 10th, it's in the RFP.
Is it in there? Okay. And then it didn't close until, close to the end of November. And I believe we also even extended it just a little bit longer so that there would be more time to put in submissions.
So is there a reason why we didn't advertise locally?
No, I think it was just,
Do we know if we can go for a shorter term?
I was just looking through what they submitted here, and I don't see anything specific to, whether they would just do a 1 month or 1 year. But we can get that answer for you for sure.
Cause I
Okay,
see,
Councillor
like,
Wickle.
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of time. Like, if later on, we're gonna be canceling our Christmas Eve meeting. So, our next meeting after that's not until January. We can't have garbage piling up. Whether or not, if we say, well, we'll do it for 2 years, we'll say no. Well, now we're screwed. We're sort of backed into a corner here.
like, I have seen Prairie Disposal come into this town. There's many,
And
I've
they
seen
all
more-
know about the website that it was, everybody knows about that website, that have these big contracts. Local people looked at it, they didn't bid, they don't want it.
we don't,
Well, we do know it, right? They looked and they didn't bid, if they wanted it, they would have bid for it. We can't
There are
force
some-
them.
Yeah, there are some that are picking up garbage, but not necessarily household garbage like you talk about. Some of the Prairie Disposal. They want to come in, pick up the big things and move on. They're not necessarily there with the other ones that I'm aware of.
Prairie Disposal picks up the garbage in Blair, Donley, Linden, yep.
Okay. So, yeah, but we don't know why I didn't check.
Well, like I said, for something local like this, you know how it is, you can't be some people have to work, they can't be sitting in front of a computer checking websites, that's a full-time job.
There are people, then that is their job. Like, that is their job, is to peruse that website for these kind of contracts.
Well, whatever.
Well,
That's in whatever then. I'm not
So-
a professional.
I guess I'm just thinking it would have been nice to have some more options for sure. I'm wondering if they would accept the 1-year contract with the idea that we would put it out again. I mean, they have to re-tender, which might not good, but it would be nice to get them. It'd be nice to know why the others didn't bid on, right? Is there a good reason? Did they know that they've competed against them and other ones and didn't get it? There's the cost of those bins when they have to bring them and set them up. It's a new cost. So somebody new, it's a little bit different than somebody that's ongoing because they've got all the bins here and ready to go.
yeah, I mean, they'd have to buy 1,000 bins right off the bat. Those aren't free, right? So that's where GFL, who does it currently, that's their advantage, right? They've already got these bins here. They're set up. Somebody else coming in, what are those bins? A couple $100 a piece? Probably more. $400. Times that by 913.
Well, we're paying for it.
Oh, absolutely, and we would pay more with the new company coming in with those bins, or, you know, they go back to the old ones where everybody's, you know, then everybody in town has to buy a garbage can again.
Well, and they're still blowing their front lawns to get the garbage cans out in my neighborhood, in the older neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I have new people that are on my street actually, and they're snow blowing their front lawn to get their garbage over their lawn in the winter. We don't have front. We're not set up in the front. And it's nuts. Like it's crazy. This is crazy. But we're held to that. There's no, you know, there's no options with the bigger companies, right? Like, that's very unfortunate because we're really putting, you know, I feel extremely bad for the older folks. So, I mean, it might work in the newer areas and they just boom, 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 go down the street. Yeah, that's fine. But it's not ideal. But I mean, what are our options, right? I mean, so obviously they looked at, you know, obviously the local, you know, companies look. You can see that, right? But yeah.
Do you have a list on who looked?
Not on me, but I can quickly go look at my computer.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so am I.
When we advertised last time for this contract, do you remember how many bids we had? But we did have multiple bids the last time, which was,
I looked at previous RFDs and what I've seen was 2 bids.
2. I know we had more than one. Yeah. So I guess what I'm looking at when I look specifically at this one, and number one, that I would love to have seen more, but I guess the fact that we didn't get them and we're at the 11th hour here, the rates are not astronomical. They're not outrageous. These guys did win the contract last time. It's up a little bit, but not astronomical amounts over the period of the 5 years. For me, I would be prepared to accept it, but I do think that we should see if we can negotiate maybe a pickup in the alley for some of these other ones where the garbage cans can be left in the back alley. And then they can just haul their bag and put it into the garbage can versus, you know, maybe there's that option with them.
It might have to do with the back alley itself. Are there power lines in your back alley? Because of the way that the arm comes up, because I seem to remember that was a concern, right? The arm comes up, it's gonna.
So I mean, it's something that we can look at, and that if it's an issue with some, then that's something that we can maybe see if we can rectify.
They do it in the cities, and the back lanes are a lot narrower and there's a lot more lines. So I don't, yeah, unless they've got some exceptionally strange lifting system, I don't.
The other thing too that we're looking at is there will be an increase in work for public works because they gotta plow the back alleys.
Yeah.
Which increases tax rates because that's an added service now because you're plowing back alleys because the trucks can't make it and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got the winter time, that's winter, then you've got the summertime, those alleys have to be maintained, graded, shrubbery, pushed back, all of that stuff. So there's an increase in there as well that has to be really contemplated on which way do we want to go here. Because that's gonna be another added expense on to public works, which is another tax increase to cover that.
And we've been approached about that already, about back alleys. The streets aren't always plowed either. And the truck keeps going right through.
So they are business and they have to make money. They didn't come to us to change rates and stuff when gas was going up and up over the last 5 years. I'm thinking this is their way to try to claw some of that back and try to get some of that I agree that we probably could get rid of the bins, but in terms of the residential disposal, I'm good with what they present.
Okay. Other thoughts on it?
Before, can we?
Councillor Martin.
I was just gonna say, you know, in bigger bids like this where there's multi-year contracts, it's customary, and GFL is large enough, and I know the rep out of Edson, I mean, it's in good customer service standing, they should have approached us, you know, 2 months prior, 3 months prior, and said, hey, you know, your bid's coming up. We've talked to them, remember about the whole recycling thing, so we've had that little bit of a relationship. It would have been incumbent on them to come to us and say, hey, you know, just that warm handoff that we're really interested in your business going forward, and we should have had a conversation. Here we are grilling you. It really should have been GFL that we're having this dialogue with. I mean, now, yes, you're right, we're pushed to the 11th hour through whatever process, but it would have been nice to have had a GFL representative be that person that we could talk with. Last time they did, the gentleman was on Zoom, so I'm not sure why we couldn't have done that. You know, he doesn't have to power through snow and whatnot. This guy's in Slave Lake. The guy we talked to last time was elsewhere, Edmonton, I want to say. So, I mean, now it's moot because it's already here in front of us. I would love for a phone call tomorrow morning to see if they'd be willing to do a 1 year. But, and you know, make that part, I don't know, I hear from some of my council colleagues that recycling could be off the table. So, I don't know. This is a tough one because it's one of those essential services like water and sewer where you can't really forget garbage, right? It's kind of our core taxation offering, so. Good thing you're sitting, Nancy Chanda.
Councillor Stenhouse, you were.
No, it's kind of, I was wondering if we could table this till, if we could find out if they take a year contract instead of locking it in.
Even like short term, like tomorrow, you know, we've talked about it, discussed it, and we could always, knowing what we've said via email, kind of make a final, you could inform us. I mean, if that's okay with David, unless you have another thought.
You mean, we'll ask them for 1 year. We could do that, they might change the price again for a 1 year, a shorter term, and if I was them, I'd probably say, I'm gonna up my rate for that 1 year. So, if you prefer to do that, we can ask them and see if they'd be willing to just do an extension for 1 year.
And maybe also the chance to have that frank dialogue. You're new, you can introduce yourself and kind of talk to them about our qualms regarding recycling, right? I mean, it's doubled, and maybe have that conversation. We went from, they actually still owe us a little bit of a credit from the last time they were charging us. That has never really been dealt with. It's, you know, maybe it's time to, you know, introduce yourself, kind of.
I think maybe to bring them up then, and since, you know, if they're willing to extend it for 1 year.
Yeah, let us do the asking for sure.
Ask them, bring them up, so that's what we'll approach that tomorrow.
So I've got manager Rhodes here on my phone, and he has called the rep, and the rep has said that he would discuss it with his higher ups tomorrow.
So, right. So we'll contact them tomorrow anyway, and have that discussion.
So I guess I'm just looking at how do we make this decision? Because it has to be made very, very soon, like in the next couple of days. I guess we could send out the information and then we could just do an email vote to finalize it. Because, you know, like you said, I think if we're gonna do a 1 year term, the rate is gonna go up. That's just the way it is, right? If they're gonna do 1 year, I suspect that it's gonna go up. And then we have to try and decide, do we want to pay that extra with the hope that these other companies that didn't bid really would bid if we, advertise locally, would they come around? And that, we don't know if they would or they wouldn't. That's the issue. And then we're paying more money for no reason with these companies that didn't take the opportunity to bid. And then we're paying more because we're giving these guys the opportunity to bid when they didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Councillor Wakefield?
I don't like the idea of making this decision over an email. So why don't we do this? Do we have a motion on the floor right now, Ben?
We do.
Did I make it?
We made it, yeah.
Okay, well then, how about we do it this way? Council award the residential waste contract to GFL for 1 year with the contract price that has been given on here. If they are willing to do that. If they're not willing to budge on that, then give it to them for the 5 years. Because I want to keep this number the same. I don't want this to, then it's gonna be $8 per resident if you're only gonna go for 1 year. If they're willing to give us the 1 year at the $5.93, okay.
You're looking at the wrong number there.
Oh, shit, wrong.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I get the idea.
Oh, wrong side, okay, at the $9.48. They're willing to give us the 1 year at the $9.48, fine, and then we'll send out the bid in like May for the new one. And if they are not willing to stay within what that first year is, a contract year 1, then we give it to them for the 5 years. I want the decision to be made here tonight, but I want us to also, I like the idea of the flexibility. If they're gonna stick with that, but if they're gonna jack that up to, well, if you're only gonna go 1 year, then it's $12 each. Well, no, we can't do that.
All right, so we've got,
So basically what you're saying, James, is, okay, if you don't take it a year, we'll
but they
give it
don't,
to you for 5.
they don't know that though.
Well, I honestly, would you be a company who would take it for a year and then know that you're going to put the bid out again? No. In all honesty. Can you run and find out who picked?
Yeah,
Please.
can we move this back?
We can't move it
We
back.
can't, but we can take a bio break
Take a while, great.
while she gets that information.
Do we? Well,
we do.
We need one?
Yes, we do.
All right, we'll take 5 minutes here.